Thanks for being on my show.
No problem. I'm excited. You're probably the first video call I've done, I think. So I'm excited.
So I thought to introduce you to my audience and tell the work that you're doing to my audience.
Tell me what I'm doing. Yeah, so my name is Micah Iverson. I live in Colorado, and I build a lot of online startups, and I also run an interior house painting company as well. So I just launched openmakers.io for people who are bootstrapping their companies, who are kind of building in public, and just trying to get the word out, about that and anything else you want to talk about.
So what is open marker?
So Open Makers is basically a community for those who kind of build in public, people who are especially like the kind of the smaller entrepreneurs, so the solo teams or small teams who are building these side projects, software as a service, but need more places to kind of share those projects, get the word out, to help try and grow their company, grow their business, because marketing is hard, especially for people like us who are developers and designers. We're not marketers by trade. So I want to build just another tool that kind of combines, different sites that are out there and brings them all kind of into one little package. The primary goal is to for companies to post milestones. So you launch a new feature, or you launch a new product line, or you have a big announcement. Maybe you reached 10,000 users, or made a big revenue amount, and we want a place for you to be able to announce that information without coming off spammy, without feeling like you're bombarding someone else. Just kind of a nice central location where you can do that. And so we have two different types of milestones. We have featured milestones, which you can post once a week. So these are like big announcements. Maybe you're doing a product launch. Maybe you're actually launching the product itself. Maybe you're launching a big new feature. That's kind of a featured milestone. You can do those once a week per product. We also have standard milestones, which are just maybe like a weekly update or a minor feature that you're announcing, maybe some stats, things like that. And those you can post as often as you want, but those only show up on your product page, not on the home page. Well, I guess by default they don't show up on the home page. You can go to that tab if you want. So the one a week kind of thing kind of prevents the front page from being spammed with just tons of posts. But we also wanted to give the flexibility of, you could post every day if you wanted, but it only shows up kind of on your product. So it's kind of a nice balance, and we'll kind of see how it works, and we'll kind of keep going from there. But as a maker, you can sign up. It's free. You can populate your own profile. So you got your profile picture, all your social media accounts, your websites, bio, things like that. And then after you do that, you can go in and add all your products. So if you got one product or you got 50 products, you can add them all into your profile. They all show up in your sidebar. So they're easy accessible. You can go and post featured milestones or milestones for them. And each of those products have, an elevator pitch, so you can talk about your product in kind of a paragraph form. You can add other social media accounts. We have the ability to add in your podcast or your newsletter links. Maybe you're working with Buy Me a Coffee, so you can add in your Buy Me a Coffee link. You can also add in I'm going totally lost it. But things like that. So you can kind of expand and connect the other tools that you're using as well. And we also have the ability to add in some open metrics. So if you want to connect to Google Analytics, you can pull those stats in. You can use Stripe as well and bring that data in. And we're working to add other providers. I know people have asked about for Paddle. We're working on version or V4 Google Analytics. We can support that API. So that'll kind of be a long-term thing, is adding in different vendors for different kind of stats, just to make that really powerful and useful for people.
How many clients you have?
That's a good question. I think somewhere like 70 right now as of yesterday. I think we went from like 48 to 78 last night when I counted last night. So we're probably closer to like 85 today. But pretty small still. We've kind of been in beta for the last, month and a half or so. So we're brand new, just trying to get the word out there. But we're growing pretty rapidly, and for what I'm expected anyway, and just looking to see it grow even more.
So how many country people are using your service?
I think the last time I looked, there was about 80 80 countries had visited. I don't know if they're necessarily using the platform, but over 80 different countries.
When you started it?
When I started, I think we started developing this version of it in July, if I remember correctly. So, but I built a different version of it about 3 or 4 years ago, and it was like 98% done, and it was just really hard to use and kind of bloated and didn't quite fit the direction I wanted to go. So we ended up just scrapping it, and it's just sitting sitting on my computer, basically ready to go. And I just sat on it for a few years, kind of did it a few times, and finally this was the one that I liked the design, I liked the feature, I liked the kind of the end goal of what the platform stood for. Kind of the goal to just help makers and be a tool and not be a competitor. There's indie hackers out there. There's Get Maker Log. There's Work in Progress. There's all these different maker tools out there. We want to complement them. We're not trying to replace them. We're not trying to have better features or more features. It's there's a good thing here. There's a good thing there. There's a good thing on ours. And together try and make it to the point where there's not so many failed startups.
So what is your motive?
My motive? Yeah, so kind of at the end of the last statement, what do they say? Like 90% of startups fail, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Some of it's money, some of it's just lack of marketing, some of it's lack of customers, of course, lack of revenue, and so it seems like a really high number. And I know I've struggled with it. I've had multiple projects not succeed. I've had slow growth or things like that, and a lot of people are doing it as their side project. So they've got a full-time job, plus they're doing this thing on the side, 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day, plus weekends. They're not marketers, they're developers, they're designers, they're coders. And so hiring someone to do that stuff for you is hard because you don't have the money to do it. A lot of times people want to do it themselves. And so I want to kind of have kind of that nice balance of, okay, here's a tool, it's free. You can promote your content, promote your product, just another tool to get exposure. My goal is for people to kind of consistently, at least once a week, post a milestone, because think of it as advertising, right? Look at McDonald's. They've got a billboard on every single exit across the entire country. And everyone already knows who they are. So it's kind of that little, small billboard every week just to kind of get in front of people, which gains trust. People will start trusting you because you're talking about your product, you're talking about why it's valuable, why it's interesting, and it's building that trust, building that relationship, and it's kind of a kickstart to that marketing without spending money on a lot of marketing.
So what are your clients with or without open maker? Open maker.
What do you mean? Like who's my ideal client?
Before using open maker and after using open maker.
Like outside of open makers or like me?
No, before using your service and after using your service, what is the change?
At this point, probably not a lot. As we grow, it will make more significant difference. Right now, obviously you can post milestones, you can post articles, and so if you're doing that, then you're going to start increasing your SEO, getting more searches from that kind of organic discovery. As more people start using the site, if we can get to 10,000 people a month coming to the site, it's just going to have more visibility, and more visibility drives traffic, more traffic drives customers. So it's going to be a slow process. It's kind of like SEO, right, where you put the effort in now for it to pay off 6 months from now. So it's not an overnight sort of thing. It's more of a long-term, okay, here's a resource, here's a way to just start growing that visibility, growing that traffic, and that will eventually lead to success.
So to whom your service is required and needed and beneficial more in the society?
In the society? I mean, why are we building these products? We build these products to be able to help someone that has a problem, right? So I have a company, or I have a service called Home Pro Partners. I launched it. So I do interior house painting. The problem is I have clients who say, oh, do you know a good flooring person? Do you know a good electrician? Do you know a good plumber? And I kind of do and I kind of don't, but they're always asking for it. They want that warm referral. And so I built this site where I can sign up as a provider. So I, interior house painting, and I can get all my other vendors that I work with and know to join as well. And so if my electrician joins, my plumber joins, then I can add them to my profile saying, hey, here's the people I work with, here's people I trust. If you need this service, go talk to them, right? Because it's that warm introduction. It's that, oh, they've worked with me, so they know that the person I'm referring is good as well. So I'm trying to solve the problem for the client. And so that's what all these other software tools are too, right? You're solving a problem for a customer, whether it's, more marketing or SEO help or, calendar help or whatever it is, whatever the SaaS tool is. That's the end goal for the makers to make that reach that customer. So yeah, when that customer is doing a Google search and they're searching for content that you ended up posting on our site or any other site, you're going to show up, you're going to, beat your competitor a little bit who's not doing that. And it just, it's that whole circle of solving a customer's problem, posting content, which gets you to see that or gets the customer to find you. And then the visibility and the content that you're posting is building trust, which leads to, getting the actual customer. And if other people are commenting you and voting on your apps and things like that, that again gains trust with that customer. Maybe they know someone else that's on that tool and get that referral. So it's just a way to build trust and solve problems basically.
Tell me how you provide your service.
It's from a how to find it kind of perspective, or what do you mean? Or like the tool,
you help in building the startups through online. So how you give service to them, and what is the time period, and what will be the charge? What will be the plans?
Yeah. So our goal is to basically push as much of your information out the door. So you'll add content and we'll push it out through our Facebook page or social media accounts. We'll eventually want to get to the point where we're doing like interviews kind of like this, and post, videos or articles or interviews, just to kind of get that more visibility. We're doing kind of small things. We've got this Maker AMA, so Ask Me Anything. It's a living AMA, so typical AMA is, we're going to talk for the next 2 hours. You're going to ask questions. It's a very time restrictive, like real time thing. And ours is just an ongoing. Anyone can ask you a question. You can answer it anytime you want. And so it's just kind of little features like that are kind of fun and kind of helps drive traffic, over time, but also adds value to everybody. But yeah, videos and articles and tutorials and resources and all of those kind of things are going to help drive in traffic and also help support the maker themselves. Eventually we want to be able to build a network of people who can offer certain services. Maybe there's a developer who's looking for work, maybe there's a designer looking for work, maybe you need a marketing person, to make those connections, which there's other sites out there that do that too. But we want to kind of integrate all that kind of thing and make it kind of one-stop shop where you can, start a company. How do you start a company even? What's the process to, actually file for an S corp, an LLC? What's the cost for doing that? All the way up to, here's, connections to venture capitalists, here's connections to banks, here's connections to a marketing person or sales or whatever. And we want to build that whole kind of just network of tools and resources and value for our makers.
So what kind of content you push through your mediums, text, audio, or video?
Mostly text, or all text at this point. So basically you can write articles, write milestones, and then we share that through Twitter and Facebook. Eventually, I don't know if I would do it, but I'd like to have a team where they're doing videos, they're doing audio podcasts, audio and video podcasts. The resources will eventually be videos too. So like maybe it's a tutorial on how to do this. And I'd also like to have the ability for makers to upload videos, or at least link to videos. Here's a walkthrough of our product. Here's things like that where you can actually show it through video, through audio, on top of our platform as well. So
So all the business startups, it will be helpful for every business. It can be any niche, the content.
Yeah, yeah, it can be kind of for anyone. It'll be niche towards kind of the open maker, building public kind of community.
So how many people got benefited advantage by taking your tools and services?
I don't think there's not a max limit, right? I think anyone from someone just starting out to someone who's got 50 products under the belt, I think you can learn something from anyone. Um, I don't think I think the newer people can learn from the more advanced people, and so there's value there. I think there's going to be ways that even the advanced people learn from the newer people who are just starting out. They're going to run into new things that weren't even thought of when they were the advanced people were kind of starting or whatnot. We all have different experience, so there's different value there. But yeah, I think any kind of entrepreneur could eventually take a value of the site, and as we get feedback from our users to see kind of what tools they want, what kind of functionality they want, that will really kind of determine what the future is and what type of people we can help.
So not everybody have the technical knowledge, what tools to use and how to start it. So how you people will help them in doing it and making it possible?
Yeah. So that's something I kind of thought about when I was designing the site, right? So I knew, first of all, I wanted the focus to be on the makers and their products, and not so much on ours. So it's a very simple site. There's not a lot of color. Originally, it was just black and white. I didn't have any color at all. Just a really simple, 2-column layout, 1-column layout, depending on the page. Just really basic, really straightforward. No fluff, no hiding things from people. You get different services where it's like, oh, call us to get pricing, or those kind of just mystery meat type experiences. Even our navigation is simple, right? We only have icons until you click on them, then we show what the label is. That's kind of anti-UX pattern, but we're makers. We should be able to understand pretty quick. Okay, once I've clicked on all of them, I know what the page is, and if it takes me an extra second to kind of go back and refresh myself, that's not a big deal. So the goal is just very minimal, very simple. That way we can focus on the content, focus on the people, focus on the products, and even everything's meant to be easy to use. So we do one-click Twitter sign up basically. We didn't have all these other different third-party authentication systems. We just wanted something that people are familiar with, so people know Twitter. They're easy to get into, and that's where all their products are anyway, right? And then the manage your product page or manage your profile settings, just a really simple page. Well, I think only one field is required, to fill out. We pre-populate it with some of the stuff from your Twitter profile already. So, once you log in, your picture's there, your background is there, your bio is there. Everything else on top of that's just, extra that you can fill out. Kind of the same thing with your product. You can add in the title and your picture and your banner for that. Just really simple, straightforward, easy to use forms and content. And that's about it, really. Just show it when we need it and add the most value where we can to make it as easy and fast as possible.
So how much you charge?
Nothing. It is 100% free. We might add in kind of some sort of payment system at some point, but not to unlock features, not to, I guess I shouldn't say that. It'll be like right now, featured milestones are once a week, right? So we might offer a payment plan where you can do it twice a week, right? So you upgrade to more posts because maybe you have a big launch coming up, so you want to post more frequently for that next month. But we don't want to get it to the point where people are spamming that front page. It'll be kind of a fine balance. And we'll probably do like sponsored posts, sponsored milestones, sponsored ad spots in the sidebar, things like that. But ultimately the goal is cover our costs, which are pretty minimal. We've got some server costs, but that's nothing major. Development time is probably the biggest cost, but even that it's manageable, and I've got other revenue coming from other sources, so it's I'm doing it to help the community and not necessarily to help me. I'll benefit from it, but it's the goal is to help everyone else succeed and really kind of live their dreams and get that financial freedom that they're looking for.
So what do you think that worked for you to reach 80 countries and to make the service better?
I think the next step, now that we've kind of got some visibility with the product launch from yesterday, um, is we want feedback. What things are working, what things aren't working, from either usability perspective or just this feature is weird. Why is it this way? Why is it designed this way? What other features do you want that would just say, oh, or that would make your product more visible, more discoverable? Things we're looking at is like um, kind of the minority support. So we've got a checkbox that says, I'm a woman, I'm colored, I'm whatever, and we're going to add filters into our product pages so you can filter by those kind of things. So the underprivileged can get more access or more discoverability, more visibility. Um, what are the things people want to see? Do we need a discussion area? Indie Hackers has really nice discussion forums. Do we need something like that? Is that worth the effort? We don't even have comments on products. We don't have comments on milestones. Is that something people want? What kind of metrics do they want to see? Is there, there's things that we haven't thought about that we want to know about, and we'll kind of evaluate as needed. And if it makes sense and will help the community, we'll do our best to kind of get it in there, at least in a basic level to start.
So at last, what do you say to the people who are watching and listening to you now?
Yeah, I would say if you're concerned about starting a product, I would say definitely start building. If it's something that's even remotely interesting, it's going to take you potentially years to be successful. So start now, and keep building, keep building, keep building. It's okay to throw things away. Join the platform, try and spread the word. So the more visibility, the more we can help people. The more, if we can generate money from it, that's money we can push back into grants and things like that. Add your products, as many as you want, if they're valid products and not spammy. Again, it's free to use. Spread the word. Let us know what features you want, and just offer advice, offer community support, offer if you have time to dedicate and you want to volunteer, we're open to that. We don't have any paid positions yet because we don't have any money coming in, but any volunteer type help would be great from a community building perspective for sure.
So as a service provider, what do you say about the work that I'm doing on my YouTube channel? Have you seen any videos of mine?
I haven't. We just met yesterday, obviously, but that's something my goal is to go look and see what you're doing. If it's anything like this, I think it's a great start to what you're doing. Eager to see what kind of support you can bring to community as well. Kind of like to talk to you and see where we could integrate things that you're doing, people similar to what you're doing, into the system just to get you more exposure. Obviously you're helping the maker community, so we want to be able to bring in that kind of content, whether it's a partnership or a dedicated page that we can just embed your videos in, things like that, and that's for you and for anyone else kind of similar to what you're doing. But I think keep going and look forward to watching all your other videos.
So I took interviews of more than 500 plus uh, working professionals who are into more than 100 plus countries.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so who are into like different professions and who are into different having different backgrounds, the educational and the work background. So I do this. I'm doing this from last 1 year. So I just wanted to know your you didn't saw my YouTube channel or my podcast or my websites or my mobile apps.
Yeah, so yeah, unfortunately I didn't have time. But I'm definitely gonna look them out. I think, yeah, if you're hitting a lot of different industries, a lot of different types of people, I think that's huge. I think a lot of YouTubers or interviewee type people kind of focus on one thing and get a little too narrow for helping the broader community anyway. So yeah, if you can reach as many people and get as much feedback and ask interesting questions, I think you'll do really well and just be really beneficial for the community.
So thank you, Mike. Keep going, keep doing what you love, and I'm sure you will reach more countries and more people. And I'm sure your service gives, I mean, makes a lot of people smile.
I hope so too. Thank you for the support. Appreciate it.
Can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
And also, can I put this video and audio clip on my podcast, website, internet, website,
Yep.
everywhere, social media, everywhere with your permission?
Yep. You can do it anywhere you need. So
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
thank you. Yep. Have a good day.